Good evening and welcome to Between the Bars podcast, episode number 3. And tonight on the pod, we are talking to Perth singer-songwriter Delilah Rose. Delilah's got her new album Moxie out now from her Bandcamp page, and it's also available, I was very pleased to hear, on vinyl at a few local Perth record stores. So we'll be talking about that, her early days growing up in the wheat belt and playing in the church alongside her parents. We recorded the chat on International Women's Day, and I'll also be talking to Delilah about her new single 100% Woman and what it means to her International Women's Day as an artist. We'll also talk about her influences, her upcoming gigs, and all of that good stuff that you would normally expect. Just before we get into the chat, let me just plug my Instagram page at the Mixtape Perth. On there you can follow all things Between the Bars, when the new episodes are coming. And you can also follow my radio show, The Mixtape, which goes out in Perth every Sunday evening at 9:30 on KCR 102.5 FM. Okay, let's get on with the chat. Delilah, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. How are you doing, mate?
Hi, I'm good, Mark. How are you?
I am very well, thank you, Delilah. I just wanted to kick off by asking you, we're recording this on International Women's Day, so I wanted to ask, what does International Women's Day mean to you as an artist, and kind of alongside of that sort of question, what drove you to write the song 100% Woman?
Okay, so International Women's Day to me is just a great celebration of women, and to the chance to be able to look back at all of those that have paved the way for me as a woman in 2023. The song, I chose to release it on this day because it really embodies what International Women's Day is about, and that's again just the celebration of women in general. You know, that we've got it pretty good here in Australia. You know, when you look at other countries that are really struggling with that at the moment, women's rights to, you know, simple things like education, I think it's a really important day to really think about those things and highlight them.
So I wanted to I've jumped forward a little bit there to the track from the new album, but I wanted to go back a little bit and to the start of your career and ask you, like, who or what inspired you to first sort of pick up a guitar and write songs?
Oh, probably my dad
Okay.
was my biggest influence. He passed about 8 years ago now, and I can't remember what we were doing. There was an event he wanted me to play at,
Yeah.
and I remember him just saying, "Oh, just play a couple of chords and just play at the event. It'll be fine." You know, I grew up in the Uniting Church with dad playing keys and my mum singing harmonies next to me. So, as you do in a small country town. Yeah, so probably my dad, and then next was probably Mick Jagger.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, if you're going to have an influence, that's a pretty good one to have.
Yeah.
So did that become a regular thing then, joining your parents in the church, or was that just a one-off?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up singing in church. Then dad and I started a band together called Three Bob. So my brother
Okay.
came along, and my brother can just play anything he wants, really, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, he
Yeah, I
played
hate people
drums
like
and
that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, My brother plays drums and bass and guitar, and sometimes at the same time. So we played covers in and around the wheat belt for years. And then, yeah, I've also played in original bands as well in Perth, and
Okay. Yeah.
just kind
Yeah.
of went from there.
Yeah. So talking about the wheat belt sort of brings me in quite smoothly to Good Grief, which was your EP came out, and for me listening to that, there was kind of a theme sort of running through it of moving on, like sort of emotionally and also like geographically with the Great Eastern Highway, and mentioning the wheat belt there, I can totally get now like where you were coming from with that. And I think when I heard the title Great Eastern Highway, I was expecting a song about sort of like cheap motels and traffic cones. Do you know what I mean? But it was something like, so much better than that. So was that kind of, moving on emotionally and geographically, was that something that was going on in your life at the time?
Yeah, absolutely. It came out after Dad passed away. So, he passed away from a heart attack, which, none of us expected it, and he was, in his early 60s. So the EP was really about me learning to sit with grief and how to really just process it and understand it. Like, Dad was such a big man, not so much physically, but just, he held so many positions in the local community. He was the president of this club, the treasurer of this club,
Yeah,
the fire brigade person. He was a glider
yeah,
pilot. He played keys at church. He was the local IGA, on the board of that. And
yeah.
he was a
Busy
big
man.
man, busy man. Yeah. So it was the EP was about me processing, yeah, the passing of all of these people in this one
Yeah,
person.
sure.
And I called it good grief because it was about understanding that grief isn't always a bad thing, like,
Hmm.
I had to embrace grief, I guess, because that's
Sure.
everyone has to at some stage. Everyone's
Yeah.
going to die, and we've
Hmm.
got to deal with it at some stage as a human. You just have to.
It comes to us all. It comes to us all. Okay, so your new album, your full length first LP, Moxie, is out now on all the streaming services, and you can download the album from Bandcamp. And also, as I was very pleasantly surprised to see, you can purchase a physical copy of the vinyl record from your Bandcamp page, or is it Junction Records and Rhubarb Records in Perth? You can buy a physical copy.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what sort of made you want to put out the record on like a physical format in this sort of digital age?
Um, the 70s, I grew up on the 70s music. My dad loved, and mum as well, loved the 70s music. So I was always, privy to the Stones and Deep Purple and the Eagles, and as well as, John Denver and that kind of thing. So I guess I've really come back to my roots in regards to music. And a friend of mine, I had two catalysts. One of them, a friend of mine gave me, she bought me an electric guitar, a Fender Telly, and
Nice, nice
then
friend.
I heard a song by nice friend, love her, oh, love her. Um, I heard a song by a band called Fanny, and they were out of America in the late 60s, early 70s. And they were the first all-female band to be signed by a major label. And I thought, why the hell can't I do that? I want to do that. I want an all-female band, and that's what I want to do. And I bought a blues pedal, and the rest is history. It just
Yeah,
the sound. I was just listening to a lot of 70s music, and because they just used to do it differently, even releasing things, like an album would be released, and then they would have singles that would be released post album, and just it made sense to release it on vinyl as well, because
mm,
it's just another nod, I guess,
yeah,
me
yeah,
tipping my
yeah.
hat to that era, which I think was just
Sure.
such a golden era of,
I was
of
literally just about to
music.
say golden age of vinyl. Was the
Oh,
'70s for sure, and I'm a big vinyl enthusiast. I believe it's probably the correct term. So I'll be hitting you up at Lyrics next week for a copy for sure. So yeah, make sure you've got one on you because I'll be grabbing one
nice.
off you because I haven't got down to Junction Records or Rhubarb Records yet. Okay, the next track is Mama, and it's a track that I instantly had a very strong emotional connection and reaction to. It made me think of my own mum and her struggles in life. And I don't think it's possible to write a song that connects with people like that unless you've lived it yourself. So does that song sort of draw on your own experiences as a mum and or daughter?
Absolutely, yeah. I wrote it with a friend of mine, Novak Bull, and we'd just become mums for the first time. You know, there's aren't many people who tell you how incredibly hard it's going to be. And I
Mm,
think it probably took me about 5 years to grieve the life that I'd left behind and really start to understand what it meant to be a mum. And again, like songwriting is just a way for me to process the world around me and the
mm,
things that I'm going through. So,
yeah,
you know, at the time, incredulous at what was going on and how I was ever going to be what all the parenting books, you know, said that I'm supposed to be.
yeah.
Um, you
There's a
know,
lot of
like
expectation, I think, and
I've
we put a
moved
lot of
up.
that on ourselves, with
Oh,
books and stuff like that, and especially these days in social media, what you can and can't put in a lunchbox, and do you know what I mean? All this sort of nonsense. Like there's a
oh,
big amount of pressure on parents to be perfect all the time, and as me as a sort of week on week off dad, I'm learning that it's okay to not be perfect 100% of the time. Do you
mm,
know what I mean? Sometimes you have to just do what you have to do to get through the day. Do you know what I mean?
oh
And
my
get
gosh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's the hardest, worst paying job that I've ever had. And you can't quit.
yeah,
Like you
no,
just can't quit. Would I have it any other way? No. No, wouldn't.
no, definitely not. No, me neither. Me neither. That sort of leads me nicely into the next question, which is, how do you balance being a mum and a working musician? How do you make room in your life for sort of both of those things? You have a very supportive partner, I imagine.
Incredibly
Yeah,
supportive partner. Yeah, Ben is my number one fan, my encourager, my picker upper of pieces when I fall apart, um, and all of those things. I also am tenacious with it. I know that it's something that I have to do in order to function as a human. It makes me a better mum. So it's something that I make time for, uh, and that I value for myself as part of my self-care.
do you involve the kids in it at all? Are they old enough to learn to play, or do you jam with them at all? Or
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Most of the time they tell me to stop singing though.
yeah, I
But
get that a lot.
they they came to Nana on the weekend and they sat and watched the early set that I played, and I think they like it. I like seeing me up there jumping around, and I
Yeah,
think it
yeah,
gives them permission as well. You know that Wyatt wanted to write his own song the other day about a cat that got lost in the street or something.
that's
So
awesome.
we were late for school because we were busy writing a song, and I was like, that is perfectly fine. We
Yeah,
better
no, of
go.
course it
We
is. Yeah,
better
yeah,
go to
yeah,
school though, because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we're late.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. So you're not just a singer-songwriter, you're also a mentor to kind of up and coming artists. So tell me a little bit about your branding workbook and how you hope to help sort of younger, less experienced artists.
It is a jungle out there.
Mm,
Um, I've been doing this for 20 something years on and off, I guess. So
hmm
I've learnt a trick or two along the way. I've worked for Wham and I've worked for Fringe World, and yeah, so it's pretty much just me sharing what I've learnt, really. And I wish that someone had shared it with me 20 years ago. So it's just about dotting your I's and crossing your T's, I guess.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's such a content heavy
Mm,
these days that you need to look. And the, the, the thing is, you don't actually have to know all of the details, but you just have to look like you do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been
But
I've been doing
that's
that as a
life,
radio
isn't it?
presenter for the last 6 months. I've just been looking like I know what I'm doing, and hopefully I'll get there eventually.
Right?
Yeah,
That's
that's
so
it, mate.
good
Yeah,
because
100%. Yeah,
done is better than perfect. Done is
yeah,
better than perfect.
yeah. all day long, all day long. So I touched on earlier about the Lyrics Laneway party at Lyrics Bar in Maylands on Saturday this week. That kicks off at 3 p.m. Any other gigs coming up apart from that?
Any other gigs? There's only a couple of gigs left before I leave to go to Queensland. So the next gig after that is the Saturday, the 15th of April, and that's at the Kalamunda Bowling Club. And then there's a cheeky one in May in Fremantle, but that's just solo.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a songwriters club one. But yeah, there's
I had
only
a
two more full band shows left.
okay. I had a request from my girlfriend regards the Lyrics Laneway. Is that a full band show? Is it?
Full band.
Oh, that's a shame because my girlfriend's Irish and obviously that's the day after St Patrick's Day. So she was wondering if you could just play a nice quiet acoustic show because she's going to be a little little bit sore in the head. But that's all right.
She'll
I'm
be
sure.
hurting.
Yeah,
I
she
can
will.
offer her some
Yeah,
earplugs.
yeah. I'm sure I'll be able to drag her down anyway. Once she's heard the rest of your album, I'm sure she'll be keen. Okay, so the final track, Thin Black Line. It's a great road trip song, I think, to me. Tell me a little bit about that song.
Mark, it's about escaping.
Yeah,
It's about getting in the car and going
yeah,
for a drive. And yeah, again, just looking back to a time when we could just do that. We could just get in the car
yeah. Having that
and
freedom.
escape it all. Having that freedom, yeah. And sometimes that'd be really, really nice just to jump in the car with hubby and go to the beach or go
Yeah,
to the hills and yeah, just the
yeah.
simple things in life.
I'm going to sound all smug now and say I did exactly that over the long weekend, just gone with my girlfriend down the bus, and it was amazing. Yeah, yeah, it was awesome. Such
Oh,
great
I'm
quality
so
time.
happy for
Yeah, yeah,
you.
yeah. It was great. Okay, um,
Time is so precious. Ugh.
I remember about 15 years ago, a friend of mine used the phrase "time is the new currency," and that's so true. Like it's such a scarce commodity, especially for parents. Okay, I've got five quick fire questions for you, Delilah, and then I'll let you go. If you could collaborate with anyone, alive or dead, who would it be? And that can be either songwriting or performing or both.
Susie Demachi songwriting, Mick Jagger performing.
Okay, cool, excellent. And obviously the show tonight is exclusively WA artists. So who's your favourite WA artist?
Oh, that's so hard.
I know
It'd
there's
have
so
to be
many good ones.
Rose Parker. She's my partner in crime at Australian Songwriting Retreats, and she
Right,
is
okay.
the most phenomenal songwriter.
Right, okay. Rose Parker. I'll keep an eye out. Keep an eye out.
Yeah.
And playing live. What's your favourite venue to play in WA?
Ooh, ah, ooh, ah, Mojo's.
Mojo's. Yeah, someone else said that the other day. Yeah, that's a good one. That's quite a popular one. If you were making me a mixtape, Delilah, what would be your track one, side one tune that's gonna drag me in and make me want to listen to the rest of the tape?
Oh, I've got to go myself. Mm-mm. Oh, what's his name? Oh my gosh, Joe Cocker. It'll be Joe
Joe
Cocker,
Cocker.
feeling all right.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. That's a great track. Good choice. Good choice. Okay. Final question of the quick fire five, and this isn't very quick fire. I'm asking this in all interviews, so I've got to give you the background to this. So,
Okay.
this is a dilemma that I found myself in, the real world problem, about 25 years ago at a music festival, and I've been second guessing the decision I made on the day ever since. So I'm putting it out there to everyone I'm interviewing just to get a bit of a consensus whether I was right or wrong. At the moment, it looks like I've made an absolute howler, but we'll crack on with it anyway. Okay, so festival lineup. So I don't know about you, Delilah, but when I get to a festival, the first thing I do is I get the stage times, and if there's multiple stages, I'm like, right, who am I going to see? How fast do I need to run between this stage to that stage? Who have I got to sacrifice? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is 1998 festival just outside London, and there was a headline clash. So headlining the main stage were the Verve, peak Verve, 1998 Verve, and it was their last but one gig before a very well publicised and acrimonious breakup that everybody was quite well aware of. Versus headlining the dance tent at exactly the same time, a roughly 76-year-old James Brown. Where do you go? That was exactly what I
James
said.
Brown.
I know. Damn it.
But you know, like I'd already seen James Brown, so I would have gone to Verve. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, it was the first time for both of me, and yeah. So on the day I was with my best friend, and he went James Brown, and I went the Verve. It's still one of the greatest gigs I've ever seen. But probably around 2 years later, James Brown unfortunately passed away, so I never got another chance to see him. And then about 2 years after that, the Verve got back together for the fourth album, and I was like, oh man, definitely went wrong there.
what
So
a
far
great.
on the interviews, not a single person has said the Verve. So I'm really starting to doubt myself now. But that's okay. I really enjoyed the gig. So on the day, I feel
Good.
like I made the right decision, and I don't regret it. But
That's all we
yeah,
can ever do, right?
that's it. No regrets. On that note, I'll say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining me, Delilah. I really, really appreciate your time because, as it is so precious. Good luck with the gig at Lyrics. I'll see you there and the remaining gigs you got. And I hope the album goes really well for you.
Thank you so much, Mike. I really appreciate it.
No problem at all. Absolute pleasure. What a fantastic chat that was with Perth singer-songwriter Delilah Rose. As we mentioned during the chat, she will be playing live at Lyrics Laneway Party on Saturday the 18th of March. That's this Saturday. And you can get a copy of her new album Moxie through her Bandcamp page or through Junction Records and Rhubarb Records if you are based in Perth. That's it for me for this week. Thank you as always for listening. You can follow me on Instagram at the Mixtape Perth for all the information on the podcast, new releases, playlists from the radio show, and the radio show itself, which goes out Sunday evenings 9:30 on 102.5 in Perth. Until next time.